Okay, so here in this case it is 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. So okay, A is 50, 200, 225. The row indices from this is 2 and 3, so therefore 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay, so element 2 is connected to 2 and 3, so you can see Q1 and Q3, so element 2 is connected. Okay, that is how I got this. That will be equal to, now you can put down these values and I can call this value as B. This is equal to B minus B minus B B. This is 2, this is 2, sorry, this is 3, 2 and 3. Okay, now this is how I got the element and shifter matrix. Now, so we are going to follow one by one step. So first, discretization. So meshing was there already, we don't have to do it. Individual stiffness matrix. Okay, so this is what we have done. So all these are for element 1, for element 2. This is my first step of that solving procedure. Okay, then what is the next step? Individual force matrix. So this is rarely required, as we can, if you remember, I could say I could write directly FM equation and prepare the global force matrix itself. So next step is the fourth one. Okay, that is the so sorry, 2 is the individual stiffness matrix and the fourth one is the global stiffness matrix. So this we can directly prepare. So I just rewrite this number to be 2. Okay, first is the meshing and I can go directly to the fourth step. Okay, that is preparation of global stiffness matrix. Okay, first thing important, size of global stiffness matrix is equal to node. Okay, so I should write total number of nodes into degree of freedom of each node. Okay, so this will give me total number of nodes. I can count it, 1 2 3. Okay, so 1 2 3 are the 3 degrees of 3 nodes available, and degree of freedom of node, each node is 1, as we are solving only one dimensional problem. Okay, so my global stiffness matrix will come to be of 3. Therefore I write Ks. Okay, one, two, three, 1 2 3. Okay, now I have to find 1 1. What is 1 1 element? So if I go, so I could find 1 and 1 element at this location only. Okay, so this element is my 1 1. Okay, so this is the only element which is available at 1 1 place. So my 1 1 is A. Similarly, I try to find 1 2. Okay, so 1 2 is this element, so this will be minus A. There is no existence of element 1 3 and therefore it is 0. 2 1, so 2 1 is this element, so I could write minus A. 2 2, so 2 2 is A. At the same time 2 2 here also exists, that is B, so therefore this is A plus B. 2 3 is this element and therefore I will write minus B. 3 1 does not exist, therefore 0, and then 3 2 is minus B, so therefore I write minus B, and finally this element is 3 3 and whose value is B. So in this way I did have prepared a global stiffness matrix. Okay, now to simplify this calculation, this 10 raised to power 5 will be coming common to both the system, that is both the A value of A and B. So what I could do while preparing this, I could take out 10 raised to power 5 common. Okay, and then I can go ahead with, so let's have the value of A. Okay, so just let me know the value of A, please. Somebody else can calculate. So this is to get cancelled. Okay, that becomes 1, so it comes 0.35 into 10 to the power 5. Okay, so just you have to verify whether I am doing correct calculation or not. Here in this case area is 50. Okay, so this will be coming B equal to area is 50, this will be 200, not 200, that will be 2 into 10 to the power 5 divided by 2 to 5. Okay, so let's do the calculation. Just let me know this value, please. .44. Okay, so I write 0.44 into 10 to the power 5. So I can write this now, 0.35 minus 0.35, 0 minus 0.35, and this will be addition of 0.35 plus 0.44. Okay, so this will be 0.79. Okay, correct. Then this will be minus 0.44, 0 minus 0.44, this will be 0.44. In this way I got 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay, so this is my fourth step. And after that, what is global force matrix? Okay, so that I can directly prepare because there are 3 nodes. Okay, so I just write it, force matrix equal to, at first node there is no force. Okay, so of course no force means there is a reaction because it is fixed. Okay, so I write as reaction 1. Okay, at second node no force, and at third node force is 5000 Newton. And of course this is the transpose. This has to be column, so just to save the space I have written horizontally and said transpose. So this is my fifth step. Okay, then write Ephraim equation KQ equal to F. Okay, so let's write it, my Ephraim equation. So take 6 step FEM equation. So my K, so this will be 0.35 minus 0.35, 0 minus 0.35, 0.79. Yeah, I just so 0.10 raised to power 5 was common, so here 10 raised to power 5 is common, minus 0.44, 0 minus 0.44, 0.44, 1 2 3, 1 2 3 into Q. So Q1, Q2, Q3 equal to F1, F2, F3. So I could call at node 1 reaction 1, node 2 no external force applied, node 3 5000 Newton. So unknowns are 4. Okay, and equations are 3. So next step, is use elimination or penalty approach to form system of equation. Okay, so penalty approach we haven't studied, but elimination approach we did study. Okay, so therefore as I know this is my known displacement q1 equal to 0, as I know, so its partial differentiation or differentiation with respect to q1 will always come to 0 because this is known or this is constant. Okay, it could be any value, it could be a value, b value or 0 value. So this, since this is known, partial differentiation is going to come to 0. So therefore this will be not this will won't come in the existence. So I just delete the, so eliminated. So this is I called as elimination approach. So I am eliminating the first row and the first column. If you remember in the last lecture also we did the same process. Okay, so just let me know whether you are aware of elimination process. Please just let me know. This is with earlier we have discussed. Come on, just let me know whether you know or not. Okay, so I got few replies. Okay, so I just scroll up. So you can, if you haven't seen, you can watch on YouTube. Okay, so this was the stuff I try to explain you. Okay, with the example this. See, this was the elimination approach since it is known. So if you missed out this lecture, please watch this lecture how this I have eliminated the first row and the first column. Okay, these two numericals I have taken elimination approach. Okay, and the derivation also I have taken. So you could watch those previous lecture if you was not present for that. Okay, so now this has been eliminated. So this is my seventh step, that is forming system of equation, because this is not the system of equation, this is the FEM equation with 4 unknowns and 3 equation. I cannot solve it. Now my system reduces to 10 raised to power 5 0.79 minus 0.4 minus 0.4 0.44 into Q2 Q3, because Q is known, Q1 is known to us, that is 0. Okay, and this will come 0 and 5000. Okay, so you have already the program of Gauss elimination method with you. Okay, so just try to solve that. So those who are not having, for them I'm just providing you that particular code. Okay, so I just copy pasted the code in the chat. You can see those things. Okay, so now your challenge is to let me know what is Q2 and what is Q3. So you have to use what? 8 step, that is a Gauss elimination method, and you will get Q2 Q3. Okay, this is my 8th step. You could see this is my 8th step. Okay, and 9th step is find Q2 Q3. Okay, or Q. So here there was a 9th step, I don't know where it has gone. Find Q, that is displacement. Okay, and finding this value is my 9th step. So you can use those codes and just let me know value of Q2 and Q3, or you can, this is a simple problem, you can do one calculation and you can get the value of Q2 and Q3. quickly it's a simple calculation. Okay, this is 5000, huh? No, 500. So anybody could again post the answer. Point 14285. Okay, then 0.25649. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to consider at least 4 decimal place. Okay, at least. Remember, keep in mind this, you have to at least take care of 4 decimal places. Okay, or else answer is going to vary by huge margin. Okay, simply you have to understand that the multiplying factor like 10 to the power 5, 10 to the power 7, such thing is going to come into the picture. Okay, so if you take 0.14 and 10 to the power 5 multiplication is happening, or if you take this value, so you have the error of 285, so that will be huge error. Okay, so just to ensure that you take at least 4 decimal places, so your error will be within 10%. Okay, so that care you have to take. So this is what the elimination approach. So I got the 9 step, 10 step, okay, which I am maybe missed out here in this case. Okay, which I'll be rewriting. Okay, finding dq by dx. So there is a one more step in between. Okay, so this could be 10, this could be 11, and this could be 12. So 10th step I write find reaction. Okay, many times in numerical this is been asked at the end. Okay, and even though it is asked at the end and you can get those values at the end, don't do it. Okay, instantly after getting a displacement values, as soon as you get these displacement values, go for finding the reaction. Okay, because here we can realize whether we have solved correctly or not. Okay, so reaction I get from first row. Okay, that is how I get the reaction from the first row. So it has to be written like this. Okay, पूर्ण काळं करायचं नाही, खोडायचं नाही, त्या व्हॅल्यू सगळ्या दिसल्या पाहिजे. लाईट पेन्सिलने त्याच्यावर लाईन ओढायच्या. ओके, जस्ट टू शो द एलिमिनेशन अप्रोच इज डन. So from the first row 10 to the power 5 is common, 0.35, okay, into q1 which is 0 minus 0.35 into Q2, which is 0.14285, okay, and then finally plus or minus doesn't make any difference, it is 0, and it is equal to R1. Okay, now find R1. Okay, so just do the calculation. And let me know the value of R1. Arohi has put some answer, so there is some certain mistake in the value of R1, I suppose. Could you just verify again? Amaya also makes the same mistake. R1 is negative, of course. Yeah, so Isha also made the same mistake. Anuj answer is correct. Shivam answer is also correct. Okay, so they are getting minus 4999.5 Newton. So this value is correct because 10 to the power 5 is common, that you should not forget it. Okay, keep in mind, this is very important. Highlight this. Note, while solving an exam, this 10 to the power 5 which is outside, the student used to forget these values. Always they do all the calculation and forget about this 10 to the power 5 factor, and they end up in some different scenario. Okay, so and that is why this step is essential. Now you could see I applied the force 5000 Newton. Okay, I should get the same reaction. That is what is my objective. Okay, so here some sort of error you got because of the number of decimal places. So if you increase the number of decimal places, the accuracy of your solution is going to increase. That is the only thing. Okay, so if you take 4 decimal places, you get a sufficient amount of accuracy. So if I apply 5000 Newton, I get the reaction of 5000, negative 5000. That is what is my objective. If I am not getting, that means I made somewhere mistake, and I can do the correction there and come back and just verify the my reaction is coming the same or not. Okay, that's the check. Okay, so this is what we do the check. So just let me know whether you understood this or not quickly. Okay, so now next step, 11th one, finding strain. Okay, epsilon, that is equal to dq by dx. Okay, so that will be 1 by LE minus 1 into, this is for my element 1, so I am trying to find for element 1. Okay, 1 by length of element 1. For element 1, degrees of freedom are q1 and q2. Okay, and therefore This derivation already we have done, you could just recall it. Okay, so dq by dx is 1 by le, so that I have written as b into q, if you remember, where this matrix is b and this matrix is q. Okay, so b into q. So my length is 200, and of course this is minus 1 and my q1 is 0 and q2 is 0.14285. okay, so that will come to, okay, so you can just do the calculation that, okay, so that value basically is going to come to 0.14285 divided by 200. So this value finally it is going to come. Okay, so you could calculate this value and write it down. Similarly, for element 2, my strain is going to be okay dq by dx, which is b into q. So b is my 1 by le2 minus 1 and for element 2 displacement are q2 q3. okay, and that value will be 1 by 225 minus 1 into 0.14285, and the next value is 0.25649. okay, so I can solve this value. So this value is going to come as minus 0.14285 plus 0.25649 divided by 200. No, not 200, sorry. Divided by 225. Okay, so just let me know both these two answers, please. (7.1425) into 10 to the power maybe minus 4. Okay, everybody is trying to put this. Okay, now let's have a value of epsilon 2, 5.07288, okay, into 10 to the power minus 4. So these are the values which are coming. Okay, later on you could also verify these values are correct or not. Okay, so small mistake could be there, that you can always do the recorrection. Now 12th step. So what is the last step? Find stress in each element. Okay, so in first element, sigma 1 is equal to E1, B1 and Q1. So this formula is also derived, that is modulus of elasticity into strain. Okay, so modulus of elasticity is 0.7 into 10 to the power 5, and I just calculated B1 into Q1, so I will readily use those values. 7.1425 into 10 to the power minus 4. Okay, then similarly I could also get sigma 2 as E2, B2, Q2, and this is 2 into 10 to the power 5, and B2 into Q2 is also readily calculated, so that comes around 7288 into 10 to the power minus 5. So larger decimal places are required. You could see there are multiplying factor, huge multiplying factor, that is going to get affect the your values or your solution. Okay, so just let me know these two values. So somewhere around 49.887, okay, and 101.4576, okay, MPa. Okay, and actual values are 50 and 100. So you could easily verify this, because I am applying a force of 5000 Newton. First area is 100 mm square, so sigma 1 ideally should come to 50 Newton, 50 MPa, and area 2 is 50 mm square, so therefore sigma 2 ideally should come to 100 MPa. Okay, so that's logical. How do you can solve your problem? Okay, so let me know whether you understood this or not quickly. Yeah, so now such type of problem, of course this is only a small system, so I just write it. Such type of problem is applicable in subject called as CAD CAM. Okay, so full question will be there. Okay, full numerical part and full question will be there. Okay, so this could be asked in a CAD, but not in FEA. Okay, so in FEA just little bit more complex problem will be there. Okay, so that also we are going to solve. So I don't know how you are doing it, but those who are also not having a elective of FEA opted, they should attend also FEA lecture, because in CAT they have this topic. Okay, and they should know this. So actually up till now we have done the part of CAD. Okay, now from here the actually the FEA part will begin. Okay, so in FEA just little more complex problem will be there, so that we are going to do it. Okay, so just we will try to first study about the element. Okay, so we'll try to find out few things about the 1D element. There are few things first we need to find out. Okay, and then we can move ahead. So that thing is, so this is my element, and now I am going to work always in local coordinate. So remember, I can use Gauss quadrature integration point. So therefore, so I call this as xi equal to -1, xi equal to 1. So this is how the element varies. Okay, so now this is the point somewhere. This is again a point, some location on that particular element. This is the some location on particular that element, and this is the location. So let's consider this xi to be 0.8. Okay, this xi to be 0.5, and at this xi to be 0.2. Okay, now let's say there are some condition known to us. Let us say here displacement is 0.1, and maybe temperature is, let us say, 0 degrees Celsius, and here let us say displacement Q2 is 0.2. Okay, and maybe temperature at this location is maybe, let us say, 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, now challenge is to find out the temperature at xi equal to 0.2, 0.5 and 0.8. This is what is the task. Okay, so we are going to study a few things about this element. So we know it is a isoparametric formulation. Okay, that we are very well aware of it. So isoparametric formulation means what? My coordinate system x is equal to n1 x1 plus n2 x2. Okay, at the same time my displacement vector q equal to n1 q1 plus n2 q2. So this is already we have written. Okay, and my temperature vector is also going to be n1 T1 plus n2 T2. Okay, so let's go for xi equal to 0.2. Okay, so I'll prepare a table so you will understand all the stuff. So rather than going like this, I just prepare a table. Okay, so few things we need to find out. So I need xi, I need n1, that is equal to one minus xi by 2. I need n2, 1 plus xi by 2. This is all we have derived. Summation of n, okay, that is n1 plus n2, and I am going to get the parameters. Okay, here in this case. So what parameter I want? I want parameter q, and I want parameter t. So xi equal to 0.2. Okay, so for that n1, 1 minus 0.2 divided by 0.2, so it is going to come 0.4, and for this it is going to come 0.2. 1.2 divided by 2, that is going to come 0.6. This is going to come 1. Okay, now you can put down these values and can get the value of Q and T. Okay, so just let me know value of Q and T. So that is going to be 0.04 plus just calculate it and just let me know. What is the value of Q1 and what is the value of T1? T. Okay, so T is 0, T1 is 0, so it doesn't going to make a difference. So T2 is going to come 60, 100 into N2. Sorry, not 600. Okay, so just let me know Q. Okay, so 0.16 somebody has posted. Okay, great. 0.5. Okay, so this will be 0.5, this will be okay for 0.5 how to 0.5, so 0.5 divided by 2, this will be 0.25, sorry, and this will be 0.75. Okay, how this is coming? Sorry, I just made a mistake. This is xi 0.2, it has to be minus value and this has to be 0. Okay, so we'll just make a correction. Sorry, while assigning these values I have made the mistake. So I started from 0, actually it is starting from -1. So I call this value as minus 0.5, this is 0 and this is 0.5. okay, so everything is going to change now. So just made a mistake. Okay, so for minus 0.5, so this will be minus 0.5, 1.5 divided by 2, 0.75. okay, and then minus, so 0.5 this is 0.25. okay, summation of n will be 1 and this will be 250. okay, just let me know now Q. So I got 0.125. Then for 0, this is 0.5, this is 0.5, summation of n is 1, q should be around 0.15, and this should be around, no, this is point, this has to be 25, not 250. So this is should be 25. I made it that as a 250. This should come 50. Then for this it has to be 0.5. This will come 0.25. This will come 0.75. Summation of n1. This should come 0.17. Okay, just calculate this value. This should come 75. So I'm expecting this value to be 0.175. Okay, oh yeah, it will be 0.175. So in this way these values will be there, and of course what important takeaway is that summation of n is always 1. Okay, so this is the what important takeaway that we have to think about it. Okay, that's the most important point. Okay, so this we have to study, and this later on in most of the problem we are going to use it. So from this we realize that the summation of n is 1. I could say directly summation of 1 is equal to 1. Okay, but you won't get it, so I just have a full problem for that, to just to make you understand the summation of n is always 1. Okay, in whichever the element is there, now from onwards summation of all the what you say shape function will be always 1. So this is not only applicable for 1D, this is all applicable for all the elements. Okay, summation of n is always 1. So now just take a another problem. Okay, so the thing here in this case is that so there is an element. I just draw it, I don't write a statement, whose x1 coordinate is 0.5 and let us say x2 coordinate is maybe 1.5. okay, and the displacement is given q1 equal to 0.1 and the displacement is q2, that is equal to 0.2. okay, now there is a some point, okay, whose coordinate, that is x3 equal to maybe 1.25, it is given to you. Okay, so at x3 is equal to 1.25, you have to find q. So what is the value of q at this location? That is what is the target. So how do we solve? We know x equal to n1 x1 plus n2 x2. okay, and here in this case this x means now value of x3. So value of x3 is 1.25. this is 1 minus xi by 2 and x1 is my 0.5 plus n2 is 1 plus xi by 2 and value of x2 is 1.5. okay, so just solve this and let me know what is the value of xi. 0.5. 0.5 may not be correct answer. Of course, it is not. Anybody could calculate this value and just let me know. So 0.5, 0.51, so that is 0.5 zeta, 1 plus 0.5 zeta. Everybody is coming 0.5. How come? So this is 1.25, 1 plus 1, so this is going to come 1, 1.5 and 0.5, this is minus, so this is 1 by 2, so that I could write 0.5 zeta. Okay, now this will come to 0.25 equal to 0.5 zeta, or zeta equal to 0.25 into 2, that comes 0.5. Okay, let it be, but it should not happen like this, because this x3 is not exactly in between, so xi should, okay, xi is coming 0.5, correct. Okay, so xi is coming 0.5, so it varies from, so from CAD to FEM it is very difficult to shift. Okay, so this is -1 and this is 1, and at the center it is 0. Okay, for in CAD it is going to come this as a center to 0. So when we start geometric modeling and problems on line, so that time the line varies from 0 to 1. Okay, so just you have to ensure that just you do not get a confused. So here I got xi as 0.5, so therefore q equal to n1, so n1 is minus 0.5 divided by 2, and q2 is 0.1, q1 is 0.1 plus 1 plus 0.5 divided by 2, and q2 is 0.2. From this you can get the value of q1. Okay, so now just let me know this answer. Okay, so 0.175, so this is what is my answer. So this is how you can also solve a simplified problem. So in certain cases a tricky problem may appear. Okay, so in that case you have to solve the problem in this way and then you have to move ahead. Okay, so this is just one combination which we are trying to explain you. So what will be next lecture? Okay, as far as part of CAD is considered, we will have ANSYS demo. Okay, so I hope you have downloaded the ANSYS. Okay, I have in the first lecture I have told you that how to do it. Search on Google, okay, ANSYS student version, okay. So I just share you one more time, so you will understand what I am trying to say. Okay, so just let me know whether you can see my Google Chrome or not. You can see type ANSYS. Oh. ANSYS student version, okay. Then free student software, you can go here and you can click on this ANSYS student, okay. Here download option is available, you can go ahead and okay, so you can download this 2020 R1 full version, so you can download this. Once you download it, then we can go ahead with solving a problem. As far as FEM is concerned, we have to write the program, okay. So these two challenges for the next lecture we are trying to cover, and then we will go for the advanced problem, okay. So thanks for joining. Lecture is over, and